She didn't know that was possible last year.
You always feel better when you're around Sarah Kemp, and she's going to love that shot. And here's Gabby Ruffels with the chance.
I'm very impressed with this young player.
Yeah, she's solid. She's just in her second year on tour. Really had a good rookie campaign. You know, a lot of rookies just wonder if they can keep their card, and she easily did that.
Represents Australia. Gabby's a player, Kay, who thought she might have made the Olympics in tennis one day. She was a promising tennis star like her parents, both of whom played professionally, and her dad a Grand Slam champion in doubles. But, a late to the sport golfer, but she's a quick study.
Exactly. I mean, she didn't really start playing competitive golf until she was about 15, and I think honed her craft and really grew and developed as a player at USC under Justin Silverstein. He runs a great program there, and she's blossomed, becoming a U.S. Women's Amateur Champion in that process. Amazing.
Gabby Ruffels at the 9th.
One pace ahead of Guseva from the middle of the fairway. Beautiful high iron shot. Oh, she's going to love that, I think, unless it released out a bit.
A little bit.
That's still fine there, just at the back edge.
Yeah. It's hot, it's steamy, as you can tell. And to tell us more about the conditions and where in the world he even is right now is Tom Abbott. So as we saw, Gabby Ruffels' approach did just roll off the back. This for birdie.
Doesn't get credit for a GIR, but this putt, 25-footer, slightly downhill initially, then flattens out. Little right to left.
Okay. Gabby said that last year, in the second half of last year, she got a little burned out. It was a rookie season. Can you maybe speak to you describe the conditions so far out there at about 11:30 Eastern time and an hour earlier there?
I don't know if maybe I'm just getting more accustomed to this extreme heat and humidity, but it feels, relatively speaking, a little...
This group out in the morning wave. Take you back to the 10th and Gabby Ruffels.
I remember Gabby when she was talking about her transition from tennis to golf. She just found tennis mundane, same scenery every single day. And when she was exposed to golf, she couldn't believe how beautiful courses were and how much they changed on a day-to-day basis, and loved that aspect.
Well, let's see where Tom is at the moment. Back we go to the 10th and Gabby from off the green.
Always a little bit of doubt as to the speed and how the ball is going to trundle coming off the shortly cut grass. She might be a little conservative with this putt. You know, it's important to just take your pars when in certain situations.
Just have to hit a high now.
Gabby Ruffels at 11.
Yeah, this one drifting right as well. It settles into the rough. That should be fine. Just not the optimal angle with this front hole location.
Year in their points race, and already some good events this year. Here's Gabby at the 11th.
Coming out of a decent lie in the rough, just a sand wedge in hand. Wants to land this short left of the flag ideally. Man, just I think got under that one a little bit.
Back we go to the 11th, and this is Gabby Ruffels to get it to 2 under.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of upside to Gabby Ruffels and her game. I mean, she is a late bloomer in the sport. I mentioned she just played in her first tournament at 15 years old and won a U.S. Amateur Championship by, what, 21 years old. So that's a pretty quick learning curve. And she's still adjusting to life as a professional. I mean, it takes at least 2 to 3 years, Mel, to get comfortable out here.
100%, Kay, at least 2 or 3 years. I always tell rookies it takes about 3 or 4 years to really find your feet. Caddies. And so, yeah, it does certainly take a little bit of time just to establish yourself out here. And I feel like Gabby's coming to that time now, and I feel like she's getting a lot more comfortable out here on tour.
We've told the story before, Kay, but it's worth repeating. She had qualified for Q Series a couple of years ago, but her team never got her officially entered. And all of a sudden, it was time to go, and she realized...
She struggles to release it sometimes, and that, to me, looks a lot better.
Ruffles back at the 11th.
Well, you mentioned that story, and she says, in retrospect, I mean, that was the best thing that happened to her, because she learned how to start becoming a professional on a smaller stage and dominated, like you said, and got her tour card, and I think came out last year much more confidently. And she did play a pretty full schedule, but you know, was well inside keeping her card and knocked on the door at a couple tournaments.
Nicely done. In fact, yeah, she had a putt to get into a playoff at Palos Verdes, where Nelly Korda outlasted Ryan O'Toole, and just missed it. And back at the 12th, Gabby Ruffels.
All the players going with driver here. They want to get it down there. Ideally as long and as straight as they can. This drifting a little right, but it should be fine.
Back we go to the 12th, and Gabby Ruffels second.
Didn't get a lot out of her driver, so has 173 yards for the second. Pulled that a little. Seemed a little, took a little extra time and was a bit indecisive with the club.
Watch that.
Okay, Ruffles at the 12th.
Putting from the left-hand side of the green over to the right-hand side, kind of up and over the crowned portion of this green. That was from 40 feet and judged quite nicely.
I always say on putts like that, Kay, you got to get it within the dustbin lid, and I think she's done just that.
Well, folks at home, I'm sure with your crew included, they're quite generous with short putts, and you know that's one of the hardest things on tour, is having to make a 2.5, 3.5 footer for everything. Counts as much as a 290-yard drive.
Oh, 100%. I remember doing a lot of off seasons, and obviously we play a lot of match play with the boys at home, and I get to my first tournament of the year and I had a 2-footer on the first. I was like, I've not had a 2-footer in about 3 months.
Is anyone going to give me this? Hello?
I'm like, yeah. I'm just about to pick it up.
Now Gabby.
Wind starting to pick up more intensely, hurting on this tee box. This is a high cut drifting right towards the bunker.
Just short of it. I mean, oh, we just said it. Just short of that bunker, Gabby Ruffels, and now trying to avoid a foot fault here, Kay.
Yeah, extremely awkward shot. She's been practicing with both feet out of the bunker, and then alternatively with her left foot in, right foot out. Regardless, I think she just has to be careful to not do too much with this shot and quasi whiff it or have that club face turn down to the left. I mean, she just wants to punch this up maybe 120 yards or so. Yeah, that's it. That's all she needed to do, and she executed it well. That showed good restraint.
Athleticism there a little bit with that tee shot right down the pipe, as you said. Ruffles, a bogey putt, Kay?
It was after that great punch near the sand, she really struggled.
Back she goes to even. Meanwhile, Choi.
Some weeks it is easier. It's almost like, Mel, didn't you find like some weeks you just had a real sense of calm and you had ability to let those mistakes just slide off, and other weeks like any little thing just irritated you?
Yeah, most of my weeks was the latter there, Kay.
Now, as we watch Gabby, I can vividly recall you taking the lead into the final round Sunday in Portland. It didn't go your way, and then you turned to right around the next week and won at ShopRite. So don't sell yourself. Back we go to 14, and Gabby Ruffels second.
179 yards to the hole. That's 11 paces on today, 6 from the left. Coming out of the rough, just trying to hit this solidly, as straight as possible. Yeah, I think she just missed the center of the club by a titch.
All right, so an eagle putt coming up for Fosse. This is Gabby Ruffels for birdie. Nice bounce
how
back.
about that? That's her first birdie since the 7th hole, her first on the back 9, and yes, erases the mistake at 13.
Heads to her last hole, par 4 9th. Off we go to this picturesque par 3 15th. Gabby Ruffels tee shot.
This is one of the coolest holes out here. It's so beautiful. It's a shortish par 3. You'd think it'd be an easy birdie, but this green is very difficult to hit and get close to the flag sticks. Particularly today, it's hugging the left-hand side, and I think, Mel, if you want to make birdie here, you have to ignore the flag stick, hit it at the TV tower. 152 is, the wind's hurting right to left right now.
Couldn't agree more with you there, Kay. I think the difficulty for these players is that wind just hammers the golf ball as soon as it gets above this trees, and I think that's been the challenge for the players on the 15th hole.
She hit that pretty high, aggressive line.
I'll say.
And boy, did that pay off. Oh, what a shot. It's good. It's a nice air movement. It cools you off a little bit because the hole's more in the interior. The wind is still up there, but you just don't feel it as much, and it can feel a bit stagnant and hot.
We had a great angle at Gabby's tee shot here. It was very close to going in on the fly.
It was a stellar shot. See if she can capitalize on that beautiful iron. Left to right break. Might have bobbled a little bit at the start, but never got that high enough.
We've seen a couple from that side miss right. And we just watched Maria Fosse 2-putt for birdie at the 18th, and she's going to be around for the weekend, and she's with Tom Abbott.
Yeah, experience, and it's amazing to hear that from Maria.
So Brianna Doe out of position at her last hole, the 9th. Here's Gabby Ruffels at 16.
Creates a lot of speed, Gabby does. Fires her hips ever so quickly.
You see Hedge and Choi's gone back to 4 under. She made bogey.
Yeah, this green, Mel, is 48 deep, but it kind of sits at an angle, and it comes off as being a bit shallow because of the diagonal that it sits on. That was a wedge.
So you see Brianna Doe there at 7 under, but she's really struggling at the 9th, her last hole. Already going to drop at least
Physically and mentally, it's a long walking golf course. They do get a couple of shuttles. The heat is quite oppressive. It's very tough and understandable that you lose your concentration and kind of space out from time to time. And you just hope the mistakes you made aren't too damaging. Kind of a little mini double breaker here for Gabby. Plenty of speed.
Okay.
Nice, the flagstick was in the way to assist on that one.
And look at this for Gabby. With Brianna Doe had come back, at one point she was, what, 8 shots off the lead not long ago, and now she's 3 back. One more look here.
It's the first birdie on the day here at 16 as well. Just a beautifully red putt. And the value of them 2 different greens, look. How cool is that? Good job to hit the flagstick.
You might still be going.
Yeah, good job to hit the flagstick, but you'll take it. Birdie on 16.
Then it appears with a big slope off to the left and an even bigger slope to the right.
Also got that false front they have to deal with, isn't it, Kay? About 7 paces on minimum.
Exactly. This is an 87-yard shot. Probably going to play it no more than 80, 75, 80. Good line.
She rolls that in, and then you get to 18, she could be right there into the weekend. Curious to see what this afternoon wave does.
Guys, it's interesting to note that Gabby is doing this all pretty much by herself. She has a Spanish-speaking, Mexican local caddy, Sebas, and there's really not a lot of interaction. He may help with a little bit with the wind direction, but she's doing it all on the putting green herself.
Her mom, Anna Maria, of Peruvian descent. She was a great tennis player herself. Her dad, Ray, the Aussie.
Her mother is out here following along.
And how easy the next shot is.
Keep it here, Kate.
The longest drive of the 3, 202 to the front, 224 to the hole. See if she can hit a good solid hybrid. This looks to be pulled just a bit. Yeah.
Very bunched up, isn't it?
Gabby's third.
Pretty straightforward shot. 6 paces to the front, 22 on. Pretty good line.
To tie the lead. Yeah, that was a good run.
Certainly one to watch this weekend, I think, is Gabby Ruffles. And I like the fact, Kay, that she's doing it all on her own this week. I think taking a bit of ownership, not having to...
About this finish, though. I mean, you guys talked about it. Gabby's just kind of ho-humming along, really not doing anything too extravagant. And then birdie at 14. Almost made birdie at 15. Birdie at 16. Such a rarity. And then another birdie at 17. So this for the 4th birdie in 5 holes.
I feel like Gabby can do that. She gets on a run and she doesn't stop running. She's on the birdie train.
A big finish for Gabby. And she is just 1 shot off the lead at the moment as she tries to win for the first time. Same for all 3 in this group. It's not been a great start to the year for Gabby. Tied for 39th, her best finish in an individual stroke play event.
Yeah, she gets the flat stick working. She's going to be a serious contender this weekend.
That has been the bugaboo this year.
Yeah, it's definitely her Achilles heel for sure.